sorry about your mother." Rio felt the sudden hot sting of tears and rubbed his eyes furiously, hoping she hadn't seen. To avoid any further conversation, he pointedly stared out of the window, and after a brief pause, she switched on the engine with a rough twist of the key, and they were off. California was the place where Rio's mother had been born and grew up. She'd left when she was barely 20, first on a music scholarship to New York, and then, upon graduation, as a violinist in the London Philharmonic Orchestra. In all that time, she'd only been back once, taking Rio with her when he was just a tiny baby. So long ago, he couldn't remember any of it. But technically, by virtue of his mother's birth, he was half American. Although it was a very small half, because he'd lived in London all 11 and a quarter years of his life, and spoke with a decidedly English accent. And so this exotic, far-away world of endless sunshine, tall, fluttering palm trees, and golden beaches had always felt like a dream. And in truth, Rio had been looking forward to coming back nearly all his life. Just not like this. Opening the car window, he took a deep gulp of the Californian air. Unfortunately, this wasn't the cleverest thing to do on a motorway. Rio coughed and spluttered and felt the smog on his lungs. This was California? Everything was so big here. The cars, the road signs, the buildings, even the sky, looping above their heads in a vast indigo silence. As if the car had been picked up and thrown into a world full of giants. London was a city, but it didn't feel anything like this. Mum had always said that California was different, that it was peaceful, that its temperament would suit Rio. That... He closed the window with a snap. Then, ignoring his grandmother's attempts at conversation, he shut his eyes and tried to pretend he was still in a universe where his mother hadn't sent him away to the other side of the world to stay with someone he barely even knew. Chapter 2. Ocean Bay. At some point, Rio must have fallen asleep, because the next thing he knew, the car had ground to a halt. "We're here," his grandmother said. "Welcome to Ocean Bay." Dusk had stolen in, and he had to blink a few times to make sure he was seeing properly. The small coastal town of Ocean Bay was about an hour north of LA. Not that he could spot the town right now. His grandmother lived on the outskirts, and the moon shone down on a huge, rambling beach house made of wood. It was a higgledy-piggledy-shaped building, 3 stories high, and painted top to toe in a soft pastel green. In its presence, Rio felt his insides soften. As if the house had magic healing properties and could smooth away even the most jagged of edges. He rubbed his eyes. The flat he shared with his mother was so small it could probably squeeze itself into this house 6 times over. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Fran murmured, a note of pride in her voice. But if he thought the house was special, when Rio stepped out of the car, the noise was something else entirely. A magnificent, almighty roar. The kind of noise only something extraordinarily powerful could make. It was the roar of the ocean. And Rio, who didn't even like loud noises, discovered to his surprise that this noise was different. He could feel the force of it coursing through his body and had a sudden intense desire to suck the feeling right down into his belly and dislodge the tight band of pain trapped in his chest. "Plenty of time for you to explore the beach." Fran beckoned to him from the front step. "Come inside for now." He reluctantly followed her through the wide hallway.